Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Hugo, and today I want to talk about this incredible gear, DJI RS4 Mini. Is it just hyped, or it really does offer something new? Well, let's find out. Why would someone like me, who has a lot of pro equipment, would be considering a gimbal like this? Because I have myself RS3 Pro, I have RS2, I have big Ronin 2, I have DJI Ronin 4D. So I was really interested in this new intelligent tracking device. Stay tuned until the end of the video because I'm gonna be doing comparison against DJI RS3 Pro with the LiDAR and the DJI Ronin 4D. I'm just gonna show side by side how they performed all together in the same conditions. And a quick disclaimer, no one sent me or paid me to do this review, so I bought this for my own money, and I actually had to buy this unit separately because on Amazon I could buy just the gimbal itself and the combo version wasn't available, so I had to buy this unit separately. But what's cool about this unit is that you can use this unit not only on RS4 Mini but also on RS4 and on the RS4 Pro. It comes with the adapter that you can install it on top of RS4 and RS4 Pro and take advantage of all the cool features that this little device brings to the table. The way it's designed is has magnetic attachment, but also has like secure clamps that it doesn't really pop up accidentally, so you have to press those side buttons to actually release it, which I think is pretty cool. The design is like very familiar to whatever we had before, and it's made out of plastic mostly, but it doesn't feel cheap by any means. Also, these parts, the handles, are made or coated with a Teflon coating, which actually helps with the friction when you're adjusting the balance. Also, it has auto locking mechanism, which I think is very cool because since RS3 Pro, every time I use a gimbal without those, I just missing the auto locking mechanism so bad. And every time I use my DJI Ronin 4D, I was like, oh man, it doesn't have this locking mechanism. Even though it's a little thing, it really helps a lot. The battery grip doesn't get detached, unlike with other Ronins. So you'll have to use the whole length of it, so you're not going to be able to make it a flat, low profile. The battery lasts about 10 hours, and also there is a cool feature that you can change from landscape to portrait mode in a matter of seconds, which I think is really cool for those who wants to shoot in the Instagram format. The payload for this camera, I was able to mount Canon R5C and the Sony FX3 with no problem. I would say if you planning on using those cameras, it's gonna handle them no problem. So why would you use a gimbal like this? I've been looking for a solution to film myself for a while, and I've tested all kinds of stuff. I've tested Raven Eye, I've tested LiDAR, I've tested Ronin 4D. They didn't give me the results that would be good enough to actually use it, and I didn't actually believe in this tracking device when I saw it released. But then after watching a few videos, I decided, okay, I'm gonna just test it myself and I'm gonna find out if it stands up to the hype. I've tested this tracking system and the gimbal itself for the last 2 weeks in all kinds of different environments, situations and stuff like that. So I have a pretty good idea how this tracking device works. As I mentioned before, I tested all kinds of like Raven Eye, LiDAR, DJI Ronin 4D. None of those worked well enough to a point where I could actually leave it and don't think about it. And that's probably the first device that actually works, where you can actually leave it and it just tracks you. And even when it loses you, you come back to the shot and it picks up and just carries on, which I think is what I was missing in other devices. And another thing is, like with other devices, it doesn't feel like it's doing a confident work, where this one works significantly more confident. It's just the way it tracks you. It feels like almost someone operating the camera. So this new system, it does actually work and works really well. Concerns that I had from the beginning. I was worrying about first thing would be, will it recognize my face if there are many faces in a frame? And it actually does. And what's interesting is like the moment you track yourself, and if there are many people going in between around, it's just gonna track your face. And even if it loses you and there is gonna be someone else in the shot, when you come back, it's gonna pick up your face and it's gonna keep tracking on you, which I think is incredible. So that was the biggest concern, how this tracking device will perform when you on set among many other people. Another concern was about the framing, because as I was testing other devices like LiDAR and stuff like that, and what I felt that they kind of struggle in a way how they hold the frame, because it wasn't consistent, and I wanted something more consistent. What's good about this one is it actually does perform really well in terms of the way it frames you. So if you frame yourself in a certain position, it's likely gonna keep you in that frame. And I thought like because the camera itself has like wider field of view, I thought it's gonna be harder to keep the same framing when you're using longer lenses, but it actually does it with no problem. And overall, the tracking of this device is it just feels so much smoother, no jerky with other stuff. Another surprising thing to me was the gestures. I think it's genius because right now, like when I've been using this for 2 weeks, I just realized how good and how useful those gestures, because it's so cool that you can just frame yourself. You're gonna give a sign to start tracking, and you're gonna give a sign to start recording or stop recording, and it's so really useful, specifically when you busy with something else, like if you're doing again behind the scenes, which I specifically bought is to film myself behind the scenes. And if you filming yourself on a distance, it's so cool that you can actually give just a sign and it's just gonna keep tracking on you, or you want to pause it and stuff like that. So remote ability to actually control it is really useful. So let's watch side-to-side comparison with the DJI RS4 Mini next to DJI Ronin 4D and the DJI RS3 Pro with the LiDAR on. Okay, so here we're gonna do a test. We're gonna test DJI Ronin 4D, we're gonna test DJI RS3 Pro with the LiDAR on, and we're gonna use DJI 4 Mini with the intelligent tracking mode. So they all set to track my face. So let's see how they perform as I walk around. So they both seem to track me well, since I see the camera as I'm moving, but I can't see from here if my framing remains the same. Let's make it a little bit faster. It's probably something more real if I track myself. Let me walk close to DJI Ronin 4D, close to RS3 Pro, and close to DJI RS4 Mini. Okay, now we're gonna try to walk a bit further away to see what's gonna happen. And I see that RS3 Pro struggles. For some reason it just went away and it doesn't go back. So let me reset this. Okay, click on track. Okay, so it's tracking me again. Okay, how is this doing? Okay, let me try to walk away behind an object. and they all set to medium speed. That's the normal speed I would use, because slow sometimes is not enough to keep up. It's only if you like staying close and you're not moving much, I would use slow for that, but other than that, medium is good speed. The fast mode is too rough. Okay, let me hide behind the car and see if it's gonna keep up as I walk back. Okay, so I see right away that RS4 Mini still keeps up. DJI running for the doing okay, but this guy has lost me and it doesn't want to catch me up even if I look at it. So let me set it up again. Okay, click. Okay. So let me try to walk far away again. I don't know, you see? The DJI RS3 just doesn't want to work. Let me change the position of the gimbal to see maybe it's gonna like it more higher on top. Okay. Let me set my frame in. Okay. How about now? Okay. That is fine. Nope. It just gives up. Okay, at this point, RS3 Pro is just useless. I wouldn't be able to use it on an actual project or something like this where I need to track myself. So for the purposes I got this to film myself for behind the scenes, it's just not going to be useful at all. Okay, let me see if I can just hide behind the car. And what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna stay for a little bit and see if it's gonna pick me up as I walk back. Okay, as expected, RS3 Pro just gone away. DJI RS4 Mini has no problem, and DJI Ronin 4D also doesn't seem to have any issues. Okay, let me set it up to more backlit position. Okay, so let's see. How is that doing? Now, if I go back like this, clearly the RS3 is on the way of RS4, but the moment the camera sees me, the intelligent tracking camera sees me, it just pops up green and tracks me no problem. You know, surprisingly, I would have thought that the LiDAR on RS3 Pro would perform the same as the LiDAR on the Ronin 4D, but it doesn't seem to be the case, because still, so far, DJI Ronin 4D didn't lose me once, and RS3 Pro lost me like 5 times already. Okay, let me do this. Let me walk. Let's see how far walk back I can do. Yeah, RS3 is just, it's useless. For some reason, why does it go down? It doesn't remain in the same position when it loses me as the other ones do. So the other one is basically, yeah, I see, this one's green. And what about this guy? Are you still okay? Yeah, this one has no problem. Okay, let's do another test. How about I'm gonna adjust a little bit of the angle of the LiDAR. And I'm gonna zoom in. And I'm gonna turn on the 2x zoom on the LiDAR itself to see if it's gonna be able to keep me up. I doesn't want to see my face. Okay. Okay. It doesn't want to snap on my face. Okay, now it's zoom. Okay, and let's zoom in on this guy. Let's say maybe like close to the center frame. And same for you. Okay, maybe. Oh, that looks good actually. So let's see how it's gonna perform with the zoomed in. Why is this not working? This is already frustrating because it just doesn't seem to work at all. Okay. How's that doing now? Yeah. RS3 just gives up. But these two guys, I wonder how stable is the framing actually is on the Ronin 4D. I know for sure that the RS4 Mini works so well and so smooth, but I wonder if this one can keep up with this intelligent camera. Huh. Let's see how it's gonna work on more closer shots. And this one. Let me zoom back on this camera, on the LiDAR itself. See if I can actually make it work. Well, I think that's... As you can see, it was quite surprising to me that RS3 with a LiDAR on, even though it has a camera just like this device, it still couldn't even stand a chance next to RS4 Mini. I think even the DJI Ronin 4D, even though it kept me in the frame all the time, it didn't lose me once. It still, sometimes it felt like it's just so not confident in terms of like the way it framing. So the hesitation sometimes from time to time, it just wasn't present in this device, you know. And I feel like even though the DJI Ronin 4D is useful, I think it's so much easier to do this with this device, and it's so much more confident because the way it snaps on your face and tracks you, I think no other device does. And the gesture control that you can start tracking and stop camera, I think it's also very valuable because it saves your time. You don't have to actually walk close and trigger the button or track yourself. So that's, I think, is very useful. As I said before, I was looking for a while to find a solution so I can film myself, because right now as I'm working on my online film school, I had to have a lot of behind the scenes so I can actually show what's going on. And I can't always have a camera op to pick up behind the scenes shots, but having a device that actually can track you, it's really useful and really cool. I confidently can say that this device proved to be the best tracking solution than any other product before. I think nowadays behind the scenes may be even more important than the shoot itself, because it feels like online right now, if you don't post anything from the shoots you do, everyone feels like you're not working. So having behind the scenes that you can post to show how you work, it's also a very powerful self-branding tool. So I think for those who wants to film themselves, this is a great solution that really helps. So I hope this information was useful. Don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.